Greetings, everyone. Hello, hello. As you can see, not my room. We got a frozen pillow right there. Hope everyone's doing well. Thank you for waiting throughout this long-awaited hiatus. I promise to do better, and we'll get back to a regular schedule with these live updates in the morning. But I've been traveling a bit. Oh my god! And I have this. Cat here that just keeps jumping around on me and these computers. It's just running amok everywhere. Like I. Can you not? So it's gonna be an interesting day, an interesting morning. I hope everyone's doing well, and still making my way through Europe here, trying to settle down and doing these updates a little more. So I'm in Bulgaria now, and let's see. We picked a perfect day to come back here. CPI comes out. We traded with our live room this morning. With our futures room, got the futures guy on a few trades, and we're now along the '07 area. All this given live, and with the CPI, there's a few things to talk about. We've seen a lot of movement so far throughout the last few weeks, and it's been great, very opportunistic, especially this morning with the CPI data. And why don't we talk a little more about that, right, before we give you guys some levels, some ideas throughout the day, and what exactly I am looking for. So let me just read some of these numbers here. The CPI, we got a few different numbers that came out. Month over month, right? CPI data 0.2 expected versus we got 0.4%, a increase month over month in inflation data. We also got the CPI year over year 8.2 versus the 8.1%, and the core 6.6 versus 6.8%, which resulted in this massive drop, pretty much targeting the 42 area, 36, 42, 43, before we got a massive 130-point drop, and now we're bouncing off of the key ledge from that 3507 region. So what we have to see here is a lot of hawkishness, a lot of just dismay in this market. This is the main focus of this week. Yesterday, we saw the PPI data came out, and very stagnant throughout the day. And today, I do want to see a little more of a potential move and a trend, as Wall Street pretty much has put all eyes on this data. Right, we had a lot of hawkishness, and right now I want to go to the FOMC countdown futures, because that's going to be a super important reading where we have the expectations for the there's a lot of meowing in the background now for the rate hikes and how that's going to go into the end of the year. So right now there's a 98% chance of a 75 base point hike in the November meeting, November 2nd, which is in about like 3 weeks time or so. And then we also have a 2% chance of a 100 basis point hike that's coming out based on this inflation data, right? We saw inflation all over the world. Like this morning I wake up, well, I guess not exactly in the morning. This afternoon, I take a look at what's going on, and especially the news and on Twitter, we've just seen like doom and gloom. Mortgages being the center point of a lot of things, where a lot of people or a lot of banks and a lot of institutions are saying that people are unable to pay these mortgages due to the high interest rates, right? We've also seen that JP Morgan and a lot of other banks are talking doom and gloom recession, that we're going to see a lot of a lot of potential downside to come up. A lot of potential downside to come out, as well as general central banks and other economic factors in Japan, England, and Eurozone, talking about how inflation has aggressively increased over the last month, which is putting a lot of hawkishness and downside pressure in this market, causing this last rather large drop. So that inflation data came out. We finally got that. We can probably get a decent move into the end of the week, right? We only have 1 day other than today, so 2 days, I guess, generally. And we've also seen that the US dollar has continued a lot of strength, right? Which may favor some of the US large cap stocks on the global stage, but also has a huge impact because we do have the earnings cycle coming out. With roughly 30% of revenues of US companies generated overseas, according to Goldman Sachs, the strong dollar may replace some of the supply chain issues in this coming earnings season. So no. So that's going to be interesting to see in this earnings season, as we've already kicked off the earnings this week, right? And we're getting very excited into the end of the month to start to see those large cap earnings, how they shape up, because that's going to dictate the next move in this market realistically. How do these earnings work? How will earnings go about this, or how will stocks move based on this earnings period that's coming up? Fed minutes, again, remember yesterday we had the Federal Reserve officially acknowledges that their rate hike path may weigh on the economy on the economic activity in the coming months and years, and they generally anticipate that the US economy would grow at a below trend pace, and this will continue for the next few years even. So, with the labor market becoming tighter and tighter, according to the Federal Open Market Committee's meeting minutes, which were set for September 20th to 21st. So this also reflects the central bank's decisively hawkish tone, and the word restrictive appeared 13 times in the September meeting minutes as opposed to 0 times in the July meeting minutes. So inflation showed up 89 times in the most recent meeting minutes versus 7 times at the previous meeting minutes. So that's something that we have to consider throughout this. A lot of the equities around the world globally are down, and the expectation for today and into the end of the week, I posted some stuff on Twitter in our free room, all that stuff, where we had a massive level that shaped up at on the SPY. It was 356, right? It was the only positive delta spike, 356, and that level coincides as well with 35, 80, 82 into that region. And once that level blew out, right, once that level got let go, we're going to drop into that 350, 349 region, which coincides with that 3507 to 10 region. So to start the day, I want to see if we can bounce off that low, if we can open up some of that support and push this thing a little higher. There's some key levels at 35. I'm just reading this: 35.33, 35.42, 35.55, and then 35.73 above that 35.82, right? Those are going to be targets to the upside if we can actually hold this support. And right now I'm trying to hold this position, see if we can run it. I might open up some calls. If they get stopped, they get stopped. I think it's worth a shot to fade off of this level. But again, the CPI and the effective economic impact and the Fed's impact on this is probably going to weigh a little more on the market. So all I've been doing since I've been gone was swinging some of the puts on ETFs, PayPal as well, after some of that news that they were not allowing accounts to be closed, and some of the banks, as I talked about over the past few weeks, that banks are not going to do well in this high rate environment. And we've also seen that mortgages are starting to get impacted by a lot of this stuff. So I hope everyone has a great trading day. It is Thursday. Tomorrow we're going to be back at it. And let's see some of these questions. Yeah, I didn't quit these. I was just away for a bit, right? Just traveling and kind of getting settled down. Even if I'm on the road, I'm gonna be more active with these, even if it's from the phone, kind of get you guys updated on what's going on because I think it's very important. Markets are burning, yes, indeed. I want to see if these areas can hold. Let's see if we can get a bounce from there. I have some risk on, and of course, if the rest of the position gets stopped, that's fine. I'm gonna watch, see how these options kind of shape up as well today, and I hope everyone enjoys this cat because they'll probably be seeing it for the rest of this month. Unfortunately, we'll see. But any tips on trading psychology? Trading psychology, that's an interesting topic. Depends, right? If you're day trading, if you're swing trading, right? There's a lot of things. I suggest go check out the podcast that we kind of stopped doing, Mind Over Markets. There's a lot of tips in there. It depends on exactly what you're struggling with, what you're dealing with. So with that being said, shorter update, right? I just want to say hi, cover some of this inflation stuff and some of the stuff that I'm looking at today. And let's see what we get in this market today. I'm looking for a little bit of a bounce off these areas. If they get smoked, that's fine. We'll go through that. And I hope everyone has an amazing Thursday, and let's get ready for tomorrow. I'm going to go grab my charger and open up these rooms. Remember, if you go to community.tradeproacademy.com, you can come into our free community where I posted a bunch of stuff this morning. And I hope everyone enjoyed this update, and I'll see you guys soon.